I'm Mike Hain, and I'm talking to myself to cure myself. Today is Wednesday, October 5th, 2022. The time, 8 a.m. A Las Vegas rooming house, which is a mobile home in a community about 15 miles east of the Las Vegas Strip in the desert, of 600 mobile homes of over 55 people, over 55 age people. I'm alone, poor, sad, and crippled at the age of 68. They have partitioned off rooms in one of the mobile homes, and I get a very small amount from Social Security every month. And my rent is $350 in this mobile home for a room, and I have a beautiful bathroom I can use, the washing and drying facilities, the electricity, the Wi-Fi, all for this small amount. But you have to live in this mobile home with the other people, 3 other men. Now, they don't talk. They don't talk about their positions and what they're doing. And they have children and families, even though these are elderly people between the ages of 70 and 90. And all around me in the community are people in their 60s, retired, all workers. Well, they are workers who have enough money put aside. They were married, they had families, they had jobs in Las Vegas, and now they have a mobile home. And one of these mobile homes costs about $150,000 to $200,000. So they have that. They have vehicles. I don't even have a car. So I'm alone, poor, sad. In 1974, when I was 20, I was raped in a Texas jail. That might not have completely destroyed my life, because after all, I'm small in stature, I'm 5'6". I wasn't weak, but I really didn't know anything about how they acted in jail. In the South, they turn homosexual when they're thrown in jail. And I just didn't know. But that might not have ruined my life. But what ruined my life, somebody in my community, and I think it was some kind of criminal or pimp or something, even in 1974 in Houston, had access to my personal story. What happens in jail stays in jail. Not in this case. And when they came out and started to gossip and spread around about my reputation, it was ruined. So I never got married. That's okay. But that's my personal story of sadness for me. Because these other people who are elderly in this mobile home rooming house, which advertises in the paper, in the personal section of the newspaper. That's how I found it. And I've been here 3 years. I'm old, sad, 68, poor, crippled, never put money aside, never got married, never had a family, just ruined. That's a pretty sad story for me. Guess what? The emotional pain is so much. I don't drink. I stopped drinking when I was 32 in 1986. The emotional pain is so great. Guess what? I wake up talking to myself, and what I'm doing is I'm making angry political speeches, or even speeches to people that what I imagine is, sometimes this is insanity. Sometimes I imagine that the people that ruined me, because there were actual criminals and gangs and things in 1974, organized crime in Houston. My mother died when I was 19, the previous year. That was a shock. and I was an excellent guitar player, and I was on the fringes of the drug scene. And in Houston, I found out later there was prostitution rings, people that would trick little teenage girls. So here I am, in old age 68, crying and talking to myself in a rooming house. Well, think of the girls that were tricked into prostitution. They would invite them to a party, and the pimp was 16 years old in the school. Apparently, maybe he got some kind of payment from organized crime. And he'd invite a nice, sweet 16, 17-year-old girl to a party, and it was the early 70s, and they would teach them about sex. And these people are really creepy weasels. They threaten the girl. They'll tell their parents. In those days, they had just invented video cameras that weren't that very expensive. They could film the girl being gang raped at the party and threaten to show her parents or her relatives. So I'm talking to myself, looking back at my life, making angry political speeches, and even speeches to the point of, are these vicious fellow students from my high school 50 years later still around? Who owns this mobile home? I've seen many of these houses where you can't identify who owns them. The money just goes to some kind of hidden organized crime or something. The COVID, I had 4 injections yesterday from Walmart pharmacy, and it's good. I agree with that. So most of the people that I know, they look at the good, and there's a lot of good. Even October 5th, 2022, with the world in turmoil. So what did I do? I used this to talk to myself. Because if you're making angry political speeches at jerks who should have never been in power, should have never been tricking girls into prostitution, should have never been selling heroin and cocaine and marijuana and speed in the neighborhood, should have never been organizing. The pimp in 1976, he says, I'm going to put my money in real estate. I'm going to start buying houses. I was an excellent guitar player on the fringes of the music industry, and I'm thinking, this guy's a nut job. I wasn't raised to be like that. They should have never been doing that stuff. So I'm making angry political speeches. Now I'm walking down the street, and I'm talking into my cell phone, making a 15-minute voice recording where I say, you jerk, you bastards. What allows you to move through the United States in this manner and tear it apart? Talking to myself. To Cure Myself by Mike Hayne. Go on Amazon and buy it. That'll help me.